Hello, everybody.
Hi, all.
Are we ready?
Yep,
We're ready. I think we are. This is lesson number 5 for us, and how much fun it has been, although it doesn't take the place of actually seeing everybody and being around people. Right, Mr. Peter?
I see you all the time, Miss Kathy.
Well, I know you do, but it doesn't. We'd like to see other people.
Yes, we do.
So today, we aren't going to look at a particular story in the Bible. We're going to try something just a little different, and we're going to do a quiz. So, if you can, run quickly, get a piece of paper.
Go get a piece of paper and a pencil.
And a pencil or a pen, and be right back, and then we'll do the quiz. We'll give you 5. 1, 2, 3.
You gotta give them more time, Miss Kathy.
5. Or you don't have to write them down. You can
7.
just guess them as we go along.
I think we should just guess it.
All right. So the quiz is called Who Am I? I'm going to give you a clue, and you have to guess the person from the Bible. So if you're writing it down, spelling doesn't matter. And they're people, 14 people in all, and they're from the Old Testament and the New Testament. So are you ready?
I am.
Okay, here's the first clue. He led the Israelites after Moses and toppled the walls of Jericho.
I know that one.
All right, we'll write it down. Number 2. He faced a giant of a problem and won.
That's an easy one.
You think?
I know it.
All right. Number 3. She had a surprise visit from the angel Gabriel.
Everybody should know this one. I know it.
Okay.
Okay.
He's a good student. Number 4. He built a boat.
Well, that's a tough one.
All right. Number 5. Lions kept their mouths shut around this person. Okay. Got that one?
Okay.
All right. Number 6. He got a haircut and lost his strength. Right.
Miss Kathy, did you get a haircut today?
I did get a haircut today,
Okay.
but I'm still
At least I noticed
strong.
this time.
I'm still strong. All right. Number 7. She took the wrong advice from a snake.
Come on, kids. You know that one.
All right. Number 8. This queen risked her life to save the nation of Israel. It might be a little tricky. All right. Number 9. Life changed completely for this man on the road to Damascus. Got it?
Got it.
Got it. All right. Number 10. This man denied he ever knew Jesus. Okay. Number 11. He had a fabulous coat. All right.
That's a tough one, kids.
You think? All right. This lady, I'm sure they can get it. Number 12. This lady had her first child when she was really, really old. Okay. Number 13. 2 more to go. He was a doctor who wrote a gospel and traveled a lot with Paul. There's a big clue in there. And number 14. She promised to give her son to God to serve him. All right, when we get to the end, we'll just run through the answers really quick. But the one thing about all these people and about most of the people in the Bible were that they faced difficulties and trials and challenges. Their lives were not always easy or happy. Sometimes nothing seemed to go right. Sometimes they made bad choices, and that caused problems for them. Sometimes they did everything right, and still something went wrong. Sometimes we feel like that too. In fact, Jesus warned us that in this life, it wouldn't always be smooth sailing, that we should expect storms and turbulent times. That's just the way of the world. That's what happens. So, well, that's really not a very fun thing to think about, is it? No. Most of us want life to be happy and fun without a problem or a care. When everything is going well, we never want it to end. We hope and pray that it will stay that way. It's sort of like going on vacation and never wanting it to end. But fortunately for us, Jesus didn't finish saying about, you're going to have trouble in the world and just say, well, expect hard times and get on with it. No, he ended with some really hopeful and uplifting words. Mr. Peter, do you remember how he finished that sentence?
Yes, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
That's right, he did. But what is it exactly does that mean, to overcome the world? I mean, we know that Jesus defeated death on the cross, and that when he returns, he will get rid of all the evil. But what about now? What does that mean for us now that he has overcome the world? Well, it means that if we put our hope and our trust in Jesus, he can help us to cope and get through any difficulty or problem that we may face. All the people in the quiz, they had to do it the exact same thing. They had to trust God to get them through, whatever it was. So we're not told, Jesus didn't say, and God doesn't say, that they'll just take away. That's how we get through. I'll just take away the trial. It won't be there any longer. But why not? Because God's God. He can do anything, right? He could take away those problems. So what reason might there be for God to not take them away, for just promising, as he did, to be with us through them? So what do you think, Mr. Peter? What reason do you think?
Well, Miss Kathy, when I get a trial, I think the Lord wants me to learn something.
I think that's usually the case. He wants us to learn and to grow through the trial. See, God always wants us to be learning. That's why he gave us good brains. He wants us to learn about him, about ourselves, and about other people. Sometimes we can only do that when things aren't going so well. What do they call that? The school of hard knocks. But you see, that's what's so exciting, if you look at it that way, about the Christian life. We never stop learning about God. Our walk is never, ever over. We can always grow if we are willing to keep walking with him throughout our life. Think of a nature hike. Mr. Peter used to be a volunteer park ranger a number of years ago, and you used to take people on nature hikes. They were always looking for something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And wanting to learn. See, all the discoveries along the way, I go, what's that? Oh, I never knew about that plant, and look how beautiful, and don't touch the poison oak. And what's around this bend? Mind that snake. And then usually it's like, oh, what a view at the very end. See, God is with us in our learning, helping us to understand him. And he has promised to never leave us
Or forsake us.
or forsake us. That's right. And that in everything he is working for our good. And he gives us support through family and friends to help us. So these last couple of months have not been easy. We've had to adjust and we've had to make changes. And it's been a challenge for the whole world. But what have we learned from this? I think it's probably different for everybody. Everybody's learned something a little bit different, taken something a little bit different from it. But as things start to open up and these restrictions are easing, perhaps we should take a look back and see what maybe we have learned. Maybe we've learned to not be afraid of changes and challenges and to trust God more, especially when we can't see the way forward. Maybe to value our families and our friends more and not take certain things for granted. Maybe even to look forward to going back to school. All right, who's ready for quiz answers? Okay, number 1 was Joshua. Okay, the giant of a problem, who faced that? That was David. All right, the surprise visit from the angel was Mary, Jesus' mother. He built a boat. No. Lions kept their mouths shut around this person.
Daniel.
He got a haircut and lost his strength. That was Samson. She took the wrong advice from the snake. Eve. The queen who risked her life was Esther. Life changed completely for this man on the road to Damascus. That would be
Saul or the Apostle Paul.
That's right. Who denied he ever knew Jesus?
Peter.
Who had a fabulous coat.
They all had coats, Miss Kathy.
That was Joseph,
Okay.
right? The lady who had her child when she was old was Sarah, Abraham's wife. The doctor was Luke. And the lady who promised to give her son to God was Hannah. I'm sure you all got all 14. They weren't difficult, but I hope you had fun doing it. So, well, I think next week Mrs. Murray might be teaching. What is next Sunday?
That'd be Father's Day.
It is Father's Day, so we've given you now a whole week. We've reminded you, so you can think of a way to maybe honor and celebrate and pamper your father, treat him, right?
I think I'm cooking that day.
Yeah, you might be. So real quick, we're going to show you pictures of our fathers, just in celebration. All right, Mr. Peter, what was your dad's name?
Well, kids, don't laugh. My dad's name was Melvin.
All right, and what did he do?
He was a senior chief petty officer for the Navy.
And what did he do in
What
the
did
Navy?
he do? He was the chef for all the naval officers on the ship.
Okay, and what did he like to do when he wasn't?
He was
Working.
fishing, and that's how I learned it.
He was fishing.
Does he look like me?
Yeah, somewhat. I think so. So, anyway, this is my dad. His name was John, but everybody called him Jack. And he worked for British Airways for many, many years. He was also a part-time pastor. And he loved to garden and play badminton and go for long walks. And he was just a really fun, kind man. So, anyway, these are our dads. Celebrate your dad next week, and hopefully we'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, and we love you all. Bye.
Bye, kids.